This is the Good Regardless podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Ariano. All right, welcome everybody to the Good Regardless podcast. I'm your host, Leslie Ariano, and I have a very special guest with me today. Vanessa, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Take two. So Vanessa, tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of what you do. I've known you for a while now. I feel like we've been in like each other's like sphere of networking. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you know people, and obviously we went to school together. So just give us a little background.
Well, my name is Vanessa. I am a social media manager, and I work alongside my family's restaurant business here in the San Fernando Valley. I've been doing marketing for about 5 years now, and my family's restaurant was opened back up in 1999, so I feel like it is a part of me. So,
And what's the name of the restaurant?
My family's restaurant is Mariscos Corona in Van Nuys, California.
Amazing food, by the way, you guys. Bomb seafood. I feel like in the Valley, we're all about that type of food. And I think we're everything about the Valley. There's all kinds of restaurants, but truly, like, I think about those Diabla fries, like that you post, like that content, that one video with like the shrimp and then the cheese and the fries, like
the cheese pull for sure.
The cheese pull, girl, like that picture, that video is ingrained in my head. Like when I think of Mariscos Corona, I'm like, that's where you can get those bomb ass shrimp and French fries.
Yes, it was actually one of our first viral videos that we had on TikTok.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How many views did it get?
I believe probably like 1 million.
Oh my gosh.
On TikTok.
That's wild.
Yes.
That is so wild.
And it's actually really funny because my brother created the Diabla fries. So they are a concept of our traditional camarones a la Diabla, topped on to like French fries. They add cheese, salsa negra, avocado. So it is our own recipe. We use our own salsas and everything.
And your family's from Jalisco, right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
so it's like a Jalisco mariscos, right? Okay.
Yes,
yeah, that's what I was reading up on. And everybody loves mariscos, especially like after, a couple drinks. Like, I heard that it's a really good hangover food, like.
Yeah.
But so your family's restaurant has been around since 1999, 2001, or like 1999?
1999.
Okay,
yes.
so that's over 20 years.
Yes.
In the same location?
Yes, same location.
That's wild. Because honestly, like the food industry is so difficult to break into, and just like being able to operate a restaurant in general, but especially now, like there's so many hurdles. So to see a business be around for over 20 years, it's like truly almost like crazy. It's like like not really heard of, unless you're like a bigger chain that has like the infrastructure, that has like the money. But for like a small business to be able to be where they're at for over 20 years in the Valley, like that's crazy.
I know. And honestly, it's because of my parents. My parents opened up the restaurant back in 1999. They wanted to share their culture, their food with the community. So they opened it up, and they put up with everything. They worked there every single day, long hours. And for a long period of time, it was just the both of them. My dad would cook and my mom would be the server.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And now we have a full staff that helps us with everything. We're so grateful. And then me and my brothers are now more involved in the restaurant as well.
That's so cool to be able to like witness, your parents doing that, and then like kind of passing it down to their children, like to grow up around, parents that are making a way. Because not only are they coming from, their hometown, or, coming to a different country, but they're coming to a different country and then starting a business in a different country. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, they had to learn the language. And my dad worked in a lot of food industry before. He was a line cook, a chef, and he just wanted something more for his family. So he decided to open up Mariscos Corona. And I'm very proud of it. So if you're in the Valley, feel free to stop by.
Oh my God, yes. I'm going to have to stop by after this because those French fries. And I think what is like your other favorite dish? What do you like to eat there?
So I love the camarones a la Diabla, the traditional plate, which is just the spicy shrimp.
That's what I love.
Yeah, so it's very spicy. So they're camarones cooked in our house-made salsa, and it's like with rice, beans, tortillas, but the most popular ones, I would say, would be our aguachiles, our mojarra fritas, cócteles. Yeah.
That sounds so good. I'm like getting all hungry. Okay, so before we get into it, because I feel like, Vanessa, you are the perfect person to have on, especially to talk on not just like your family's story and just how you guys have really been able to build a business like as a family, but just like your knowledge on, social media and just from our conversations off the podcast, like you being able to help scale your family's business, through social media, add, that dynamic into like the family business, I think has been so important. And I'm sure it's like everybody plays their part,
Yes.
in a business, especially a family one. Like everybody knows what they got to do. Dad's the cook, brother's the business. We have persons to do the marketing. But before we get into all the marketing tips and just like your social media, I did have a couple questions for you because usually we do Ask Less, but today we're gonna do Ask Vanessa because she's here. And as I mentioned to you previously, I didn't open up the form to like my stories on the Good Regardless page. I did my close friends. So like if you're on the close friends list, you were able to ask Vanessa questions, and I removed her for 24 hours just so that way you wouldn't see that I was like asking people like, what would you want to know from Vanessa? So one of the first questions that I got was, how do you feel about content being, is it quality or quantity? What should a person focus on when it comes to content on social media?
Quality, for sure. Quality.
Okay, cool. Quality. And is there like, a specific amount of posts that you think that should be done a week? And what's your process to make sure that like you're producing content that is focused on quality?
So I would recommend posting at least once a day and making it something that's meaningful, impactful, something that is knowledgeable, like to your audience, something that you want to share, something that you would want to know. That's what I would recommend. I know everyone's audience is a little bit different. So I would just recommend keeping in mind to always keep it like insightful.
And I like how you say audience, because I think so many times like we just want to like kind of post what like we want, but you mention so often like audience, because at the end of the day, like what you're saying is like you really need to put yourself in your audience's shoes. What do they want to look at? And I think that makes it a lot easier for like when we're trying to come up with content.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question isn't a marketing question, but someone wanted to know 3 words that would describe you.
3 words that would describe me?
Yeah. You can take your time.
Yeah, I was like, wait, hold on.
You can take your time, girl. No pressure.
Okay, 3 words. Well, I feel like 3 words is hard.
3 words? Okay, what about 2? Should we do 2?
2? I mean, that describes me. I'm not sure. I mean, I could tell you a little bit about myself. I am very family oriented. I enjoy spending my time with my family. I work with them, and then I spend my free time with them.
I love that.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, that's all I could really think about. I enjoy doing my Pilates class,
Yeah, I see her do it in the mornings, 5 a.m. She's Pilates mommy right here.
That's honestly like, it's such a highlight of my day. And
it like kind of, is it like in a way that's like physical, or like do you just feel like it helps you like be in the routine, or what's?
I think it's more like physical and like mental. Like I think it just like is a great way to start off the day. Like it boosts my mood. It gets me out of the house. Like I have control of my time now. So it's like I got the workout out of the way, you know? So now it's like, okay, now I could focus on other things like making breakfast, like take my dog out for a walk, you know? Cool, I already got a head start. Now I can, start working, start editing, start posting, start researching. So now I have more time to actually work. So I like dedicating that morning to myself.
So you definitely are a morning person.
Yes.
You like to wake up before the sun comes up. I'm like that too. I don't know what it is, but something about waking up before everyone else is up, especially like living here in the valley, there's a lot of people. So like when you wake up and no one's up, you're like, wow, like it's quiet.
It's
like,
so peaceful.
It's so peaceful. It's so underrated. Like waking up in the morning, I know it's like kind of hard because you gotta sleep early, but it truly is peaceful. It is. Okay, so the next question that was asked, but I think you kind of answered this one already. Oh, wait, no. This says, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about social media? So your favorite, let's start off with what's your favorite thing about social media?
My favorite thing is definitely connecting with people from all over the world. I think that is super cool. You can post one video and it can reach people from another country. Like,
wow.
I think that's the coolest part. My least favorite would be comparing yourself to other people. It's like you'll see someone like, oh, like, you know, you probably think like, oh, like to yourself, it's like, oh, I should be there, you know, or I should do that. Oh, I need a vacation or something. It's just a comparison. That's my least favorite.
Yeah, I feel like that is so spot on with like, you know, I think the essence of like the good and the bad of social media is so nice that like we can connect with so many people, you know, at the click of a really like a button, like, you know, or you could just research different areas because of social media. But again, like that comparison, and I feel like we felt it more, especially like I think our generation, but at the same time, like I don't think we really grew up focusing on like social media. So we're kind of seeing like the end of it. And even being around it a little bit, you're like, dang, like you're always, like I'm always comparing myself and I'm like, I don't have this, I don't have that. So it's kind of hard to find that like balance of like being able to check yourself and not let it get to you.
100%.
Okay. The last question is, what tips would you recommend for someone who's trying to grow a following?
Hire a social media manager.
Okay, plug, hire social. Girl, but honestly, that's facts. Like, you know, especially when it comes to business, like you can't do it all. Like if you own a business and you have someone that literally specializes in this, so like, why don't you hire a social media manager? I love that shameless plug. Because you have VS Social, which is your social media platform business. And it's been about like, what, like 7 months, 8 months?
Yes.
Yeah?
So I've been doing VS Social for about a year now, but I made the Instagram like about 7 months ago. But yeah, so I manage other business accounts. I create content for them. I create strategies for their business, and it's showing results. So.
Yeah, and like the fact that, you know, I want to also touch on like your parents' story and their business, and the fact that, you know, they have been around for so long. But what can you tell us about like how the change was when you guys started to implement social media? Has that always been like a thing that you guys wanted to do? Or is it something that you were kind of just like, you know, I'm in this generation of people who love social media. I see how it can be a value. Let me give this a shot. Like, what was that like for you guys in your business?
Yeah, no, it was exactly that. It was growing up with social media, seeing other businesses on social media. And I'm just like, why can't we put our business on social media, you know? So I really started getting into marketing through my parents' business. I decided to go ahead and start posting these pictures, filming behind the scenes. And at first, like, they weren't that good. I'm going to be honest. They weren't that good, but you just kind of learn as you go. And then I was consistent. I never gave up. You know, if I'm going to be completely honest, it took me like about a year or two to finally see results.
Okay.
But then once I started to see the results, I started to learn exactly what it is that the audience is looking for, you know?
That's awesome. Yeah. And so I think you had mentioned too that you guys first kind of started on TikTok, right?
Yeah. So I love TikTok.
TikTok is where it's at.
Yes. At the time it was. Now it's a little bit more different. But in the beginning, there wasn't too many people on TikTok. So it was a lot more fun. You would just post like random stuff and people would enjoy to see just behind the scenes. This is like before, you know, it's very popular now. So this was way before that. But yeah,
I feel like right now people are foodies. Like I'm definitely like, if I'm going to go eat somewhere, like what does their Instagram look like? Like what does the food look like? Because you can tell a lot about like the food by just like the pictures and the videos. So, how did your parents like kind of feel about that? Like you're like, okay, like were they on board? Were they like wanting to give you tips? Like because did you help them outside of that, or did you kind of like, how did your help for them kind of come?
Yeah, so again, like I kind of did it behind their back, if I'm being honest. They had no idea what social media was, you know, like I'm sure they were familiar with Facebook, but they weren't too like familiar with TikTok or Instagram. They're like, okay, she's making videos. Okay, like have fun.
Okay, like you do you. We're going to be doing the real work behind the kitchen. That sounds like something my dad would say. Like, oh, you could do your little picture, you know, like.
And then once, you know, we started to go like get more views, my dad was like, oh, okay. Like he started to realize like, oh, this actually works, you know? So. And
then people coming into the restaurant like, oh, like, is this the place that has this video? Like, let me have that. And then you see that like connection. You're like, okay.
That's my favorite part. That's honestly my favorite part was when someone comes in, it's like, oh, I saw this on Instagram. Do you guys have it? It's like, yes, like I filmed that.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. So.
And how often are you still like, having a specific day out of the week to create content for your family now that you have like multiple businesses that you're helping, or how do you like manage that?
Yeah, so for every client I have a schedule for them, and it's typically throughout the week, and we schedule content, we talk about it, we plan it, and then we just film it, and then we post it and all that stuff.
Okay, so how was it like growing up in a family that owned a business? How was that like? Because I think that like, girl, even from my scale, like we have a mini pancake business where we do catering, and even that is so hard. So when I think about like someone who owns an actual like big business, like you guys have like the food, and then you have this, you have that, so much goes into that. And when I always like joke around, because when we used to do events, like when we first started off, me and my family low-key would always be fighting. Like my my dad would be mad at me, or like he'd be like, oh, you guys are not ready. Like there's just always like, he was always, all of us, we would just get like on each other's like nerves. But now as time has progressed, like we've learned to really work with each other. But I've always kind of like wondered, like, oh, for someone like you, seeing your parents just sacrifice so much and work so much on the business, how was that like for you? Because obviously it had to have affected you in good ways. Like I'm sure seeing them sacrifice and do that.
Yeah, so for me, it was just more like, my dad always gave me the mentality, it's like, you can do whatever you want, if you work hard enough, you can get it, so I always had that belief in me, which I feel like gave me the confidence to finally just be like, oh, I could do this on my own, and also seeing him do it. Like he came to this country, he's originally from Mexico. He came to this country at the age of 16. He worked a very long time in the restaurant industry and saved up enough money to open up his own restaurant.
Wow. So he saved up his money to open up his restaurant.
Yes. And then for me, just to make excuses to like, oh, why I can't do this and that, it's like, I can't.
Yeah, like your dad was literally that example. So did your parents, like, were they married when they moved over here? Or where did they meet?
They met here in the Valley.
Oh, what?
Yes, a Valley love story.
Is it a food story? That'd make it so cute. Is it a Valley food story? That'd be so cute.
Yeah, no, so they actually met because my uncle was working at the restaurant that my dad worked at, and he's like, oh, because my uncle was married to my aunt. He's like, oh, like my wife has a sister.
Oh,
and
wow.
they introduced each other. So
and the rest was history.
Yeah.
And the thing is like when you like as your dad, I'm sure like to start a business, like you need a person that's like down for it. Like you need a partner that's gonna like not only push you, but that's gonna realize like the sacrifice that it takes. So like shout out to your mom too, because like
seriously.
To work in the like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go work with you, and just to do all
while
that
raising
thing.
3 kids.
While raising three kids. So you have 2 brothers, or
2 brothers. I have one older and one younger.
Nice. So you're in the middle.
Yes.
You're the only daughter.
The only daughter.
So you're daddy's girl.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
That's what I say about me too, that I'm daddy's girl. Okay, so when it comes to content, what was like the first major video that on Instagram that you felt like, oh, this went viral, like now so many people are seeing it, like I actually like I did something really well? What was that video?
So I think it was the mojara frita video. It's on TikTok. I think I still have it pinned. I just posted it. It's just like how it was like a video of us like prepping mojara frita and then like taking it to the table, cutting it open with a tortilla, salsa, and like limes.
That sounds so good, even just thinking about it.
Yeah, and I didn't think anything of it. I posted it that day, and then later, it was like on a Friday. And then later that night, we got so many orders of mojara fritas.
Really?
And I was like, oh, like, that's normal, But to the point where we completely sold out, that we were just like, okay.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
From the one video? Mm-hmm. And that was on TikTok first, then Instagram?
Yes, it was on TikTok first, and then it was on Instagram. But so one thing that you'll see is both platforms will offer you different results. So one video that might hit on TikTok might not do that well on Instagram, and it's just the way that it works.
Just kind of like, you think it's like a little random, or you just think like it's because of the type of user that's on the platform?
I think it's the type of user, that's on the platform.
Yeah, because I feel like, for Instagram, like, the people who follow you, they're like a fan, like they like your business or whatever the case may be, versus like TikTok, you kind of follow, or you're just kind of scrolling past things that, are random, versus like, I think social Instagram, it's more like a curated feed, because you're seeing things that you like from people that you follow. Yeah. But yeah, I remember like seeing your guys's business kind of like start to take off. Like what was like your goal was like 10K, because right now you guys are at 127 on TikTok, 1,000. And then you guys are at 124 on TikTok. Wait, 127 on Instagram, 124,000 on TikTok. I don't know math, but I know that's a lot of people. So I don't know like the exact number, but like that's like, I don't want to even guess it because I'm going to guess totally wrong, but that's a lot of people that, you know, are following your guys' platform that is potentially like coming into the door and like, you know, bringing more business. That's wild.
Yeah. And, you know, it's been a journey, and I think it's really fun just being able to connect with people, like I said, like from all over. We've had people visit from New York. We've had people visit from Mexico.
That's
like
so awesome.
It's fun. We recently had a gentleman visit with his family from San Francisco. And he's like, every time we come to Disneyland, we always stop by to eat here. And then we go to Disneyland. He's like, every time we're in LA, we're going to stop by here. I was like, that is so sweet. Like,
and that is that like connection. Because at the end of the day, like, yeah, you guys are serving food, which already is such a way to connect with people. Because like, especially in like the Hispanic culture, everything is centered around the food. Everything is centered around the dinner table. Like you go to grandma's house, you go to, you know, mom's house because they're going to cook a dinner. And that's kind of like what our culture is, you know, like it's very food. The food is everything. Like growing up, like the things that you would eat.
Yeah.
So that's cool that like, you know, family from different parts of the world are going to stop and come to the valley from Disneyland.
Yeah. And it's always great to meet them, you know, talk to them and thank them for coming all the way over here and making the time to visit us. So.
Yeah. Is there like I guess a pivotal point, like maybe you were doing content, because I know you said it took a year for it to pop off, where you kind of realized, okay, this isn't working. Let me try this. It's going well, so I'm gonna run with it. Like, what was the pivotal point for you that you started actually creating content that was making an impact for your family?
I think it was just like the quality of the videos that I was taking. I think before I was using a very like old iPhone.
Oh, okay.
And I think I upgraded to, you know, like a newer iPhone, and I started investing in equipment to make my videos a little bit better quality. So I feel like that was the pivot for us.
Yeah. And to top it off, like not only are you marketing really well, but the food speaks for itself.
Yes.
The food speaks for itself. How like was the menu has it been set? But I know you said that your brother's also very hands-on and like you guys like to create new items. Like how does that work about creating new items for the menu?
Yeah, so we still have our traditional plates that my dad created like back in 1999. My brother has made his own twist to it. So you'll find a lot of like new modern items. And like the Diabla fries, those are like a twist of our camarones a la Diabla plate. And then, yeah, he enjoys creating new plates. He always wants to do something different that's going to like, you know, something that you can't really find in the valley. Like he wants you to enjoy your experience here and, you know, just enjoy something that you probably wouldn't have gotten at like another spot. You know?
Because I think, you know, for sure, like that uniqueness is what you're saying, because you know, like obviously you can have so many different tacos, you know, or like so many different mariscos, but it really is like that unique thing that maybe you guys have to offer that like nobody else has.
Yes.
So it also shows like how much you guys put behind like your business, because I think it would have been a lot easier maybe for you guys to just like do what is like common, but the fact that he kind of came in and was like, you know, let's add something different to get people excited, because I think people like, you know, they want something new and like to look forward to.
Yeah, and he really enjoys it. Like I watch him like do the behind the scenes and everything, and you can see the detail that he puts into every dish. So.
Yeah, and then it's like, do you guys do like tastings where you're like, okay, we're gonna try a bunch of new recipes, like everybody has to come in and taste them and kind of like do the whole thing?
Yeah, so before we put it on the menu, we all have to taste it and we all have to agree to it.
Really?
So, yeah.
And dad comes too? Does he like, you guys are all still kind of there?
Oh yeah. My dad is you know, he'll check it before. He has to get it approved before we can put it on the menu. Yes, he has to approve it for sure.
And is stuff like seasonal, or do you guys just kind of once it's there, it's like on forever?
We do have a few items that are seasonal. Like we do have a pineapple ceviche that we offer like during the summer. We don't have it at the moment, and I think we also offer like mangoes like when they're in season, like mango ceviche.
That sounds good. And like you said that your brother gets a lot of like, you know, like inspiration, or he loves to create different like dishes. Does he go to a place? Like I would imagine like there has to be some sort of like way to kind of get this information like into your brain that you put on a plate. Like what is that like?
Yeah, no, honestly, I don't even know like what the process is like.
It's sometimes like one day comes and he's like, I want to do this.
Yeah, he's like, let's try this, and I'm like, okay, like Yeah,
down.
I don't know.
And how has it been working with your brother? Like, do you guys, is it, just how's that been? Like, are you guys close? Like, what's that?
Yes, we are very close. I told him that I was coming on the podcast, and he told me 100% do it. He recently had a baby. Aww. So I'm a tia.
A first tia?
Yeah,
oh my
first
God,
tia.
that's so nice.
So I hold that title very proudly.
So cute.
Yes. I saw something on TikTok where it said, like, the biggest or the greatest gift that your siblings can give you is, like, being a tia. And I was like, I felt that. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine the day. Like, well, I'm older, so I feel like I might have the first baby before my brother, but like, that is really nice. Like, I think as we grow older, like, you said you're very family oriented, and I'm like, okay, yes, like, we need more of the family, we need more babies, we need more everything. Like, maybe not me right now, but like, you know, like, everyone's like, when are you gonna have babies? And I'm just like, oh my God, like, you know, it's a lot. That's crazy. That's cool that you get to work with your family like that.
Yeah.
I think that's been for sure like one of my favorite things of doing Batter House. Like, even, you know, it is on a very smaller scale, but just the fact that like ever since I started doing this with my family, I feel like it's brought us a lot closer. Like, even my younger brother, like, he helps us, and then obviously Rich is in the picture, like mom, dad, and you know, I think you had posted something a while back ago about like the family dynamic, you know, and like basically how I think that, you know, us Latinos, like, we are very hardworking people. And I feel that, you know, as close we are with family, like, when you get your family together, like, these are people that you know that are never going to do you dirty. They're never going to, like, want what's not best for you. Like, your family really is going to look out for you. So I think the fact that, like, you guys have created a business, like, around your family just makes it that much more stronger.
Yes. Yeah, no. And, like, I just want to know, like, how are you guys
in the family dynamic?
Yeah, like, how are you guys liking it?
I mean, we definitely like it. I think that, like you said, like, even the fact that you've talked about, you know, the like, how much you enjoy when people come up to you and they're like, oh my God, like, I've tried this food, you know, or I love this. Like, my dad's also very much into cooking, and like, he's always loved that. And I think that, you know, he definitely had to sacrifice at a really young age, because my parents had me when they were really young. And, you know, I don't think that he ever got the chance to fully, you know, try to do more with his cooking. But same thing with you. Like, my dad loves to cook, like, loves to cook. So when we started Batter House, I was like, okay, like, this is a way to kind of like add something to our family dynamic, and then like it be something that he likes. And I think in the beginning he was like, pancakes, like, what the, like, you know, he likes, you know, my dad eats the food, you know? But it's been nice, like, especially when we have, like, I have a customer, I was gonna say client, but I think it's like a client customer, you know? And we met her in the Shop Small because we were doing that event a lot. And she lives all the way in Orange County area. And we've done like private events for her. And like, even just this past month, we did that event at Batter House, and she drove with her family like over like 2 hours. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours just to get the pancakes.
That's amazing.
You know, so I get what you're saying. Like, it is a special feeling because, like, you know, yeah, like, it's a business, but you're also putting a lot of like your heart into like the food that you prepare. Like, you know, food is so much about like love, and is so much about like, we want to give something that like brings a smile on people's face. Yeah. It's not just like I just want your money type vibe, you know? Like,
you put so much time and effort into making something, like, it's meaningful.
Yeah. So it's been nice, and like, you know, we've been taking it like day by day. My dad's like, we need to expand, we need to do this, we need to do that, but it's like a lot, you know, like
it's a process. And, you know, me and my brother fully got involved with the restaurant. He was working a different job, and I was working at like somewhere else as well, and we both decided to like quit our jobs and fully like invested into the restaurant.
That's cool. And then like, when did you start seeing like the growth? Like, was it you said that how long have you guys been like doing Instagram and social media for Mighty Schools Corona?
Yeah, that's when I really started you know, posting consistently was in 2020. So again, it's been a journey, it's been a process. It's learning you know, what works for you, and you know.
And I really admire, like, you know, the fact that you were like, okay, you know, you and your brother were like, all right, we gotta come and help with the family business. Like, it wasn't just like, all right, well,
No.
Hasta la vista, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you had a sacrifice and you came through, like both of you guys did, for your family, and just to see that flourish, like that's really awesome. Because you said that you were doing something different at the time, right?
Yeah. So before I used to work in property management, and I did that for a few years. And then my dad had to get surgery where it required him not to work for 3 months. And during that time, his options were to either close the restaurant, sell it, or, we would have to get involved. Like my siblings and I fully get involved. And that's when my siblings and I decided to quit our jobs and, get involved in the restaurant and be there every day.
So you're there. Are you still there like a lot?
I'm there a lot, yes.
Yeah, and then I think I saw you last time too, because it's like, bro, like you do, once you like, it's all hands on deck.
Yes.
Everybody does everything. Everyone knows what their specialty is, but at the same time, like everybody does everything, like even for us, like I think like when my parents like out of town, like I'm like doing the batter, like whatever, like, and it's like, like you have to do it, and it teaches you like a different level of hustle that I don't think, is found like anywhere else, really. Just like that level of commitment to like your family's business.
Yes. But everyone's working towards the same goal. Like we all want the same outcome. So we're all working. Like I know my brother and my family, everyone is giving them like 100% to what we're doing, Yeah.
And then I just saw that you guys got like a cart to do like private events. So is that like, that's a new avenue that it's going to do, right?
Yes. So,
that's cool.
Yes, my brothers decided to open up a oyster bar, like a ceviche oyster cart. Yes. So where they could do catering at events. So we're going to be offering oysters, ceviche, cocteles, micheladas, like everything.
Micheladas too. So when's that going to be up and running? Is it
So
up already?
yes. So we're just finalizing the things, but it should be ready by summer. Yeah.
So that's cool. So pretty much like if you want to have Mariscos Corona at your birthday
event, or whatever you want.
Event, birthday, all kinds of events.
Yeah. So get some oysters, some ceviche, some mariscos, aguachiles. We'll bring it all.
Oh my god, aguachiles sound good. Honestly, like I've tried oysters like a couple of times, and like I just can't eat them. Like I can't. Like I've tried them like 10,000 times, and I'm like, I just can't get past like the slurping like feeling, like the thickness of it. But everything else I'm down. Like everything else, like I'm not picky when it comes to food.
Okay.
So like I don't know, like I kind of want to try yours though, because the way you guys do them with like the shot on top, like that looks good.
Yeah, you should try it. If you like spicy, like you'll like it.
I love spicy.
Okay, perfect. You'll love it.
Okay, that's awesome. So what is like, besides the plan to expand and do like private events, like do you guys have other plans for Mariscos Corona or?
Yes, I think the goal is always to grow, you know? Yeah, but it's a process, and right now we're just enjoying the process. And
that's awesome. And so then we have not only you helping with your family's business, but you also have your social media marketing company. What are some tips that you can give people that, besides like, investing in a social media manager, which I think is like super valid. I think that you do really amazing work. And like I even like was looking at your page last night, and it said that there were 3 different posts that you had like in a carousel, and it was like, okay, one post had 3.5 million views, one other account or like video had like 1.2 million, and then the last one had 1 million. I could do that math. 3 + 2 + 1 is 5 million people, Yes. Like, so you posted that, and I'm always like looking at the stuff. I'm like, damn, like there's a lot of people that are coming to know these new businesses. That's wild. Like, well, how do the clients feel about that? Like when you work with them, and then you're like, do they, maybe I don't like, just, they're starting a new business. They come, they hire you, and they're maybe not, they don't know what to expect. And then you're giving them results like this. Like, how does that help them, and how do they feel?
Yeah. So when they're hiring me, like, I think they want to see results, right? Like they don't want to just pay someone just to pay someone. So I am, doing everything I can to get my clients' results. So I did have a client that I started from zero, and, they had just opened up. They weren't really even sure how social media would impact their business. But now they're just like, oh, every time you post a video, like it's like the top seller of the week.
Really?
Yes.
Is that the coffee shop?
Yes. Yeah.
Coffee shop bakery? Because they could see that on your social media, the VS social, right? Like the clients that you work with?
Yeah. So they can see that, and yes.
Yeah, because honestly, they're popping too. Like I have people that like I follow just like from being around like the shops malls and whatever. Like I see a lot of people go And I was like, oh, I know that girl that does the social media right now. Like, I always think that. I seen like the videos of like, there was this one video in particular. Let me think which one it was. It was the one of, I think it was like what was it? Bread, but it was like a pumpkin spice bread.
Oh, yes, the pumpkin spice conchas. Yes.
Yeah, and then you dipped it in something.
Yes,
and then that one got a lot of views.
Yes,
that one looked good.
Yeah. So, my goal is always to get my clients results. So
that's cool. Yeah, that must be really nice for them too, because like I saw them starting from zero, and then like seeing like, oh, like all the posts, it all kind of like they all fall into line. So there's also like a cohesiveness where like I can spot like, okay, I know this is like your work because I know like the quality, like you said, and just
you can spot it.
And like every time you see a video that you post, like you genuinely want to go over there and like eat the thing or like drink the food and stuff.
That's the goal. Like I see the beauty in the food, so I'm just like super excited to share it with everyone. And it's like, it works, and I'm happy that it works for my clients.
Yeah, that's awesome. It must be hard to like restrain yourself from eating all the time.
No, I eat. I was like, no, I eat.
You eat? You're like, I eat, girl. Do you like a go-to drink there? Because that place it's in Whittier, right?
It's in they have one in Norwalk, and they just recently opened another one in Downey. And,
oh wow, it's not even been a year though, huh?
So a year later they opened up the Downey location.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so very proud of them. They're doing really great. So if you guys are ever in the area, stop by and
I have yet because it's further out, but I'm definitely gonna make it a mission. And I also tried the other place that you were doing social media for, the pizza spot.
Oh, you've tried it?
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna post it, but it wasn't as good as yours, so I was like, I'm not gonna post that because I was gonna post like tag you, like, oh, I got recommended. I'm gonna go back. Go back because the pizza was really good. I got like the pizza with like pepperoni and pineapples, and it was so delicious. Oh, yes. It was bomb, and then the wings.
Mm-hmm. The wings are so good.
Wing girl.
Yeah, so they do them grilled there, so they don't even fry them. So
yeah, they taste really good. I was like eating them, and I was like, they don't taste like your standard wing, and they're pretty thick, which I like.
Yes,
I like my wings thick, girl. I like my wings thick. Okay, let me see. So, a few more questions. Okay, so you have your own business now. You're working with your parents and also helping them scale theirs. Is there like a driving force that, you have? Because I feel like for all of us, like we need to feel that purpose, because like we talked a little bit off the podcast, you had a job. I think we've all had jobs that we've had before that maybe weren't filling us in the way that we wanted. I think that's standard that most people, I would say, go through, working in a job that maybe didn't give them satisfaction besides a paycheck. And I think like even from my recent experience, I've known that like, I can be making X amount of money, but if like I'm not happy with what I'm doing, like it really starts to take a toll on us mentally. I think that I went through that like really big when I ended up like leaving or not ending working at my last job, it was like, but at the same time, I think it brought me to this point and I'm like, okay, a lot happier now. But what's like the thing for you that keeps you going, in your business venture, like with your family and with your own business too, because you are an entrepreneur, you have your own business. So, there has to be something there besides just like the money.
No, it's more than the money for me. For me with VS, I grew up with my family owning a small business. I've seen the ups and downs of it, and I know what it takes to run a small business, and it's not easy. It's a lot of sacrifice, and my drive is my parents won, and it's also I want to help other small businesses that are going through similar things because it's not easy, and if I could take off the load of that, like, or make it easier for them, I'd be more than happy to do so, and it's like I enjoy doing it. I love getting creative. So I feel
what's the burnout like too, though? Because I think honestly that must be super hard. Like being on your phone all the time and then like coming up with content. Like, what's your refresh like? How do you like turn off your brain? And then you also had posted this funny video of like, oh, social media managers like always on their phone, like even in the shower.
Working, yeah.
So what is like? How do you like to turn off your brain, or like how do you like to balance that out? Because
it's hard. No, it is hard, and that's where we go back to like my morning routine. I feel like my morning routine is my reset. It's like my me time. It's like I work out, I do what I have to do. It's a few hours to myself. And then, but I do spend a lot of time on my phone.
What's your screen time?
I'm embarrassed to show you.
Girl, mine is bad. And I don't even like, mine low-key is like, oh my God, I don't even want to say either, but it's like 12 hours a day.
Oh yeah, no, mine's, same.
Because like I'm on my phone like you have to, you edit videos, you do this, you do that, you're posting it, like there's like a constant like need. And I remember like when I was on my phone a lot more, like my boyfriend did not like that. Like that's one of the things that like he was like, if we're out having dinner, like don't go on your phone. And I'm like, but it's I have to do it for work, but I have to do it for work, you know?
No,
like,
I know. When we went on a trip for my birthday last year, I would have to wake up early, like on vacation. I would wake up at 5 a.m. so I could post and edit everything so that way I can enjoy the day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, even on vacation, it's like no days off.
Yeah,
so.
that's the thing with like owning your small, like not small business, like, well, yeah,
No,
small business, you know, owning your business, like there's no really like off on Monday, like on Saturday, Sunday. Like it's kind of like anytime the client needs something, and especially with social media, like there is that consistency of like always needing to be on and present and like engaging with the community. So you're kind of like working all all the time. Like I remember when I was like doing social media for the place I used to work at, like I would come home and like, you know, you're not like, okay, 6 o'clock, like I'm done. Like, you know, you're getting pings and you're just like on your phone. So that must be hard for sure, especially with like the balancing of the multiple clients.
Yes, it requires a lot of time, but I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. It's nice like when you do something and then you're like, oh, like let's see where this goes, and then you see it pop off. Like that's cool. Are there any specific apps that you like to use for like editing or anything like that?
Yeah, for videos, I would recommend like CapCut. And then if you want to edit your videos, I recently found this like video editor. It's called, have you heard of it? It's like Tezza.
I've heard of it, but I've only used it for like photos because it has like really cute like filters and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they do it for videos now too, which is super cool.
I wonder if it's a different like app. You think it's like the same one? Because I have it on my phone, but I've never seen the video side of it.
Oh, I think it might be the same app, but try down like uploading a video instead of a photo. Because I just like went straight to the video and I was like, oh, this is great. I haven't even tried the photo yet, but
yeah, like I think it was interesting when, you know, we had social media and then everyone was like posting photos and I was finally getting good at that. And then all of a sudden everybody's posting videos. I'm like, oh my God, like it was so hard to have to learn that switch. Everything is video now.
Yes.
Pictures are important too, but like the videos are like where it's at.
That just goes to show like, you know, social media is always changing. You just have to adapt to it. So
yeah. Okay, so we have small businesses, like you said, that, you know, definitely would be in need of a social media manager because like you said, like I've come across businesses that they have such a great product. They have, you know, the good food and all that stuff, but they're missing the most important part. They're missing the social media aspect of it, which is how today in age, like like all, not even just our generation, the older generations, the Gen Zs, the millennials, like the baby boomers, even the baby boomers are on their phone on Facebook. Like my grandma, grandpa, Facebook Live, like they're always on. So, you know, definitely like social media is such an important role, especially like when people are starting a business. Like I feel like it's honestly like sometimes like overlooked. I think sometimes people can tend to like think it's maybe not like that big of a deal because like even for me, for example, like when I post stuff for Batter House, like I'll get a lot of traction and then I take like a week off and like it's like crickets, you know? Like, so it's like that consistency thing. So someone's coming out here and maybe they want to hire you. What would that look like? Is there like a certain amount of time that they'd have to work with you? And just kind of like touch on that.
Yeah, so we always start off by getting to know the client and their business and what their goal is with the business. So that's what we would start off with. I do require a minimum of like 3 months commitment. That's gives you enough time to see the growth of your the potential growth of your business. And
I think 3 months is good. Yeah, because I know maybe for some people it'd be like, oh, that's kind of a lot, but like consistency is like the number one thing within like any type of growth, any type of, you know, you want to see success anywhere, you got to be consistent. So I would imagine that 3 months is like a good enough time to just like, okay, like found the rhythm, found the clients, and then it kind of evolves from there. Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah. Hopefully, you know, this year brings a lot of new business opportunities for you.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Okay, so where could people find your business? And then also, where can they eat Mariscos Corona?
Yeah, so our Instagram handle for Mariscos Corona is just at Mariscos Corona. My social media agency is VS Social LA. But yeah.
And if they want to like get in contact with you with working with you, it's just DM, link, or like, just kind of send you a message.
Send me a message and we'll talk about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, I'm so excited for you guys to hear this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it so much. Vanessa, I'm so thankful for you for like being on the podcast and you know taking time out of your day to just like come here and share your family story. It really means a lot to me.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you for having me.
Of course, girl. That was One for the books. We did it, girl. We made it through the podcast.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. All right. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.